Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning, all our cherished viewers. So my name is Daniel Aniniba, and we are still on videos for EB2 green card, doing it yourself. We did a series of videos previously, and I hope that it's my wish that I'll be able to send across a video today, at least as a means of saying hi to my fans. So we have seen a lot of people filing their own applications. Some are pending and some are yet to even submit. Some are also responding to some various RFEs that they have. But I thought that I should come out and do this video, which will help a lot of applicants who are currently filing their own EB2 National Interest Waiver green card right now. Yeah, so like I said, once in a while we will release videos which will educate most applicants who are filing their own green card on their own, especially the EB2 National Interest Waiver green card on their own. And today, what are we going to look at? Today, I want us to look at how the USCIS officer adjudicate their cases, the work frame of how they go about to approve or deny a petition. I thought I should do this because this will help a lot of people a lot. And after we look at this work frame, we are going to look at certain AAO decisions, some petitions which were denied previously, compiled by USCIS. And we are going to look at every week, we're going to look at one by one of these petitions and why they were denied. Why did the person refuse to satisfy? And we can comment on it. Whatever we do right now, bear in mind is that it is not an attorney advice. This is opinion that we are viewing, we are sharing on the issue. So don't take it as a formal attorney or legal advice. If you have a problem, please see or contact an attorney. Yeah, so that is what I wanted to put across. So today, that is what we are going to do. We are going to look at decision framework. If you are a USCIS officer, what are some of the framework you follow? What are some of the things you do to actually approve or deny a case? So they follow certain steps so that when you are filing as the applicant, you will be able to make sure that you have checklist all these requirements and met them, because if you meet even 9 out of the 10 requirements, you are not getting approved. So if you meet 1 out of the 3 prong tests, you are still not getting approved. So make sure that you are able to satisfy all these prong tests that the USCIS mostly look out for and all the requirements. So I don't want to waste much time. Let us still straight go into action. So let me share my screen, and we will be able to look at the framework I've been talking about. Yeah, so this is the framework of how USCIS officers operate to approve or deny a petition. Now, remember that the basic requirement, let's say that you are the applicant here. You ask yourself, the basic requirements that the applicant was supposed to have an advanced degree, either a master's, a PhD, or a bachelor's plus 5 years experience in his or her field. Okay, now it is not a strict requirement to even have a bachelor's. Okay, there are some people who can still file this green card without a bachelor's degree, but that means they will go through another branch or another route. So this is the basic requirement. The first level of decision is that the officer asks, does this applicant has an advanced degree? Okay, that is the first level of requirement. Now, if you look at this one, it's either you, the applicant, has an advanced degree. In this case, let's say you have a master's, a PhD, or a bachelor's plus 5 years of experience. Okay, then when you are filing, your first thing to declare is that you are an advanced degree professional, or if you have a bachelor's plus 5 years experience, you will say that you are an advanced degree equivalent professional. Okay, because the US consider 5 years of experience in combination with a bachelor's degree as equivalent to a master's degree. Okay, as equivalent of an advanced degree for the purpose of this green card. Okay, now it may be that you are an applicant who fall under this route, or you don't have a bachelor's degree. In that case, you have to go through this route. Okay, and what have this route gotten to do with this whole thing? You realize that if you don't have a bachelor's degree, and you are documenting through this route, then that means you are going through something we call the exceptional abilities, okay? So it is not a strict requirement to even have a bachelor's degree. You can still not have a bachelor's degree. There are professions where the person don't have a bachelor's degree, but they still have some kind of unique skills which make them eligible for this green card. For instance, there are some kind of nurses who don't require bachelor's degree. Let's say they only need a 3-year diploma or 2-year diploma, but to do nursing, still you need some skills in that profession, which these nurses have got. So they are going to the exceptional ability route. But if you're a nurse and you have a bachelor's degree plus over 5 years experience or master's degree, then you are going as an advanced degree holder. Whatever path you take, always the structure of your petition is the same thing, okay? Just that you are trying to meet the first layer of decision. Yeah. Now, if you don't have a bachelor's degree, then you have to satisfy at least 3 exceptional ability criteria. And what are these 3 exceptional ability criteria? I have talked about this criteria in my previous videos. That you should have an academic document or academic record showing that you have a diploma, okay, or a certificate in whatever profession. It can be a trade profession, it can be a kind of healthcare profession, it can be any profession you have that you are schooled for. So any academic credentials, you have to support this exceptional ability will be well accepted. Then apart from that, criteria 2, let's say you have worked for more than 10 years experience, you have more than 10 years experience, progressive experience, and you can support this with employment letters or letter from your employer or previous employers. This is also another criteria that you can also take or check mark if you're able to satisfy that. The third one is that your ability showing that you have commanded salary. Okay, so let's say you got paid. Of course, you can't be working for years and you still don't get paid. So getting paid or showing salary or pay stubs or pay slip, whatever you call it, is also another criteria of the 3 out of the 3 that you have to meet. Okay. Another thing is that membership in professional associations. I've talked about this in my previous videos. So let's say you are a member in a kind of professional association. Even if you are not a member, find one and join. Okay. It's not difficult. I'm able to let an applicant join an association within a space of 30 minutes or 1 hour. Okay. Find association in your field and join. It shows commitment to your field. Okay. So that is also another thing. Certification and license to practice is also another criteria out of which you can satisfy the 3. Okay, let's say you have certification. Certification means some professions use the term license. For instance, healthcare, they use the term license a lot. Okay, so we call it nursing license, radiologist license, whatever. But when you come to other professions, they call it certifications. So certifications is additional knowledge you have gotten, which there is a documentary proof that you have gotten this knowledge, and that permits you to practice your profession. It can be certified environmentalist, certified fisheries and aquatic scientist, certified this, okay? It's different from your degree. You're talking about professional certification. Most of these certifications, some of them you have to take some short course and pass. Some of them you even have to send your degree and get an equivalence for that. Whatever you have to do to get a certification, also do it, okay? That means you either do this or you are doing that. Now we'll come to this one for a while when we are talking about this framework, because it also satisfies other stuff, especially chapter 3, well positioned. Okay, we'll be talking about most of this one too. So you can't actually ignore this one entirely. Even if you have a bachelor's degree, you have to still get them. That's the trick. Combining this with your bachelor's degree makes the magic. Okay. Now, let's say the officer has decided, okay, on your petition, even if you don't state it, the officer will know based on how you are drafting it. So mostly this one comes under chapter 1. Chapter 1, you have to declare, I am an advanced degree professional, and right under it should talk about your master's, your PhD, or your bachelor's plus 5 years experience. Or you talk about that you don't have a bachelor's, but you are applying as an exceptional ability candidate. In that way, you also have to make sure that you are going to satisfy 3 out of the requirements that the USCIS have listed that I've talked about right now to be able to satisfy the exceptional ability criteria. Now, after the officer has determined that, then he goes to the next step of the decision-making process, and that is, has applicant shown field has merit and national interest? Okay, yeah, so meeting the advanced degree, that's why having a master's is not enough to get you approved. You have to show or satisfy some prongs. We call it the 3-prong test. And the first prong, if you can see it here, is the first prong is that The applicants and DVR has merits and national interest. Okay, when we say merits, for instance, if you go to Google right now and type in importance of environmental scientists, okay, or the importance of a nurse, okay, or duties, or who is a nurse, whatever it is, it would give you a whole lot of details about who a nurse is, their responsibilities, their impact to society, and even some educational requirements that you need to become a nurse or a radiologist or whatever it is, okay, whatever profession, or a manager or industrial manager, whatever it is. So that is the merit. Okay, the merit is the contribution you give to society. Okay, your work. So first of all, you're going to talk about your position. So that's the mistake people do. They don't even talk about the merits, let alone detailing the national interest. So the merit is that talking about your profession. If I ask you, you tell me you're a radiologist. Oh, who is a radiologist? What do you do? What do you guys do? What is your contribution to healthcare? Okay, whatever you do that brings satisfaction to society, that contributes to societal people's health or people's living, whatever it is the merit of what you do. So describe your profession, tell some of the roles or some of the duties that you play in this profession, and its contribution or its impact to society. Okay, if you're an operations manager, talk about who an operations manager is, some duties or the role of an operation manager, and its impact or its benefits or its relevance to manufacturing or to companies or to businesses. Okay, that is the merit of what you do. Now, when you talk about the merit, then you come to the national interest. We have found a lot of times that many people kind of fail at this particular prong test a lot. National interest. And when I was going through the AAO decisions, my main petition, which have been denied, and one of the things I see is that some of these people, when they talk about national interest, they are actually talking about what they are going to do when they come to the United States. That is not national interest. It's very much important that you understand national interest, what it is. You see, the national interest is what is going on in the US right now, which needs your expertise. Okay, it can be news articles, it can be trade or industry articles, it can be governmental articles. For instance, what is going on in the US right now that we need nurses? The whole lot of news on nurse shortages in the US. Hospitals are hiring contract nurses, traveling nurses, paying high costs for these nurses. And what is the effect? They are going to transfer this cost to the patient. So it will increase cost of healthcare. Okay, when you talk about when you type this thing in the internet, it will give you a whole range of news. Hospital needs staffing, nursing staffing shortages, whatever shortages. These are the news the officer wants you to pick one by one and talk about it and align it to your qualifications, showing that whatever you do is generating news in the US. It's not about you telling the officer, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. That is not how you find national interest. When you do that, you're going to get an RFE, and the officer is going to ask you to still repeatedly explain your national interest. Another thing that I've seen with national interest that I want to draw your attention is that the term national is very important. The term national is very, very important. Some people will be like, okay, I'm going to satisfy the national interest because my skills will benefit Google. Is going to do this for Google, or is going to do this for Amazon. Okay. When you pinpoint one company and just talk about it as national interest, it's not national. You're just talking about one company. If a national interest, you are not even supposed to limit yourself to one state in the US. So if I'm picking news which shows that my expertise is needed in this profession, I have to pick some news which is talking about California, another news which is talking about Arizona, another news talking about Montana. You see, spread it geographically, okay? At times even take federal news. Federal means national. So any news which have .gov, okay, maybe US Commerce website. If US Commerce, Department of Commerce is talking about something, it's a federal agency, okay? So whatever news you are talking about right now applies nationally. Avoid the temptation of talking about a particular company that you are going to satisfy or you are going to benefit them with your expertise because it's not national. National interest means taking news from various parts of the United States, and especially at times you can even take news, focus your attention on deprived areas, underserved areas, Midwestern areas, rural areas, okay, where your service will be most needed. Bring some of this in. Okay, it's not about you talking about I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That's not national interest. Okay, yeah. So that is first prong. Let's say you have satisfied the first prong. If you satisfy this first prong, then the officer moves to the next step of the decision making. But what if you don't satisfy it? That means you are not satisfying it, then the officer will issue something they call the RFE, request for evidence. Request for evidence gives you 3 months to redeem yourself, to explain yourself, and still kind of rectify this area of your application that you fail to address. Okay, and if you don't do that, of course, there's no second chance again, you're going to get denied. So it's very much important that you arm yourself with knowledge in this area whenever you are filing on your own. I know filing on your own is very hard, but you can do this. If you're able to do a research to get a master's degree, there's no reason why you can't do this thing. It should be kind of dedicate time for it, and you will be able to do it. Okay, now let's say you have satisfied this first prong test. Then the officer moves to the second prong test. Okay, has the applicant showed that he or she is well positioned to advance their career? So you see that the first prong test was actually based on your profession, okay, as a whole. Now it is leaving your merit, your endeavor, your profession. The second prong test is coming to you, the applicant yourself. What qualifications do you have, okay, that make you think that you are well positioned to advance this career in the United States? That's what the officer is going to look at. So with this one, the officer is going to actually looking at your degrees, your kind of certificates, some achievements you have, work experience. When we talk about progressive work experience, even the officer, for instance, if you use the bachelor's degree plus 5 years experience, you may want to talk more about your work experience here, okay, where you started from, promotion to this level, promotion to this level. Officers want to see at times promotions, okay? Even if you don't get promoted, the officer wants you to talk about how you have progressed in your profession, in your career, okay? Leadership roles you have played in your companies. That is what the officers want you to always be talking about. Now, so that is have to do with what? Position to what? To advance the career. So if you look at this, how to position to advance the career, we are going to look at some typical examples. For instance, you talk about your academic qualifications, it positions you. You can talk about certifications, it positions you. You can talk about pay stars, salaries you have commanded. So realize that it is bringing us back to this one, okay? Salaries you have commanded that positions you, certain awards or recognitions you have gotten in your line of duty, maybe best employee, maybe certificate of honor or citation of honor, whatever it is that you have received in your line of duty, best positions you, certifications you have gotten, additional certifications in your job, professional development courses you have taken, okay, positions you very well. I've talked about payslip. Professional associations, okay, associations you have joined. Maybe you are a nurse. Have you joined a nursing association? You are an environmental scientist. Have you joined professional association of environmental scientists? All these associations also position you very well. And the association doesn't necessarily have to be in the US. It can be in Europe. It can be in Asia, wherever it is. Take note of that. So I've been talking about a whole lot of things. Contributions. Let's say in your line of work, you develop an algorithm, you have developed a software, you have developed something which is very instrumental to the growth of a business. It may even be that you have developed some kind of a model or managerial model where the company follows and they're making a lot of profits. They are all contributions, okay? So whatever it is related to your profession that you have achieved, you have accomplished, all come under well position, which is prong number 2. And it's very broad, but it always have to contain very, very important things in it. If you have not watched our previous videos, go and watch our previous trainings. We talk about all these things. Then if you satisfy this, of course, the officer moves to the last decision step, which is the prong 3. And if you don't satisfy, of course, it sends an RFU and give you a chance to redeem yourself. And if you don't do that, you're going to get denied. Okay. Now, let's come to the prong test 3. Let's say that this is the last stage until your green card get approved. The prong test 3, the officer wants to look at on balance, waiver of the job offer. Will it be in the interest of the United States? The unbalance argument is very important here. Most people also get kind of knocked down at this point for not satisfying this. and it will be very very heartbreaking that you've satisfied this, and this alone actually knocks you out. So this is also equally important. And how do you satisfy unbalance? At this moment, like I said in my previous videos, whenever you reach, this is going to mostly be the chapter 3 or chapter 4, okay, depending on how you are filing it. Now, when you want to talk about the unbalance, the waiver of job offer requirements, you are going to look at you, the applicant, okay? This is a particular strategy of doing it. Take you, the applicant. You are a manager, operations manager with this experience. Juxtapose that with a US citizen. What do you have that the US citizen does not have? Because part of this green card is that you're supposed to get a job, and the job should offer you a green card. But the US is trusting, okay, trusting on your abilities to waive that requirement, or even to kick an American out of a job and give you that job. So you are supposed to tell the US officer what you have, which makes you a unique professional in this field, okay? So it could be your numerous work experience. Maybe the US companies are hiring just entry-level applicants who don't have a lot of experience, but you are coming with experience. That is it. It can be your educational qualification. Maybe most companies are hiring just entry-level bachelor's degree holders, but you have an advanced master's degree, which gives you an advantage in knowledge, in capabilities than the bachelor's degree holder. It's also another technique you can use. Maybe there are huge staffing shortages, and that your admission in the United States will fill some vacancies. It's also another technique, okay? Especially in profession like nurses. You can talk about this also for the unbalance, okay? Don't talk about only one reason. At least find at least 3 reasons to be able to outcompete that American citizen and for them to admit you into the United States for permanent residence. So that is why you look at the unbalance. At times to also bring in news articles which shows that without you being the United States, this profession is going to still suffer a lot of loss of professionals, and this part of the economy is going to suffer, okay? So whatever you drafted in the national interest, some of these ideas can also come to talk about. So here is like you are going to fit in to solve some of the national interest news that you found across the internet, okay? So on balance, let's say you have this idea, maybe because of my skill in this and that, and the US is currently lacking this and that, I come in as a perfect candidate to fit this and outcompete an American. One of the applicants showed me her work, and it was very marvelous. He was like, see, American hospitals are hiring a lot of traveling nurses, and I am coming in as a full-time nurse because I am an immigrant and I'm supposed to bond to a hospital and work under this hospital for some time. Therefore, I'm coming in as a long-term nurse, being paid lower than the other American citizen traveler nurse who is being paid like $6,000 a week, okay? Which will, therefore, you coming in will kind of reduce. The US should see some benefit of you coming in. It will reduce the cost of healthcare. Maybe it will reduce the cost of operations. You coming in will kind of save companies money. Maybe it will create jobs, okay? So whatever it is that your individual is, that is what you are going to talk about on the unbalance. It's about summarizing it. And this is where I can't stress it now. This is where letters of recommendation plays significant role, okay? Always bring quotations from your letters of recommendation to support this. That we need this person to be in the US, otherwise this industry is suffering. We need this person in the US, otherwise the US is going to lose a lot of revenue. We need this person because, okay, recommenders have to also be talking about stuff to support you. This session is the place where a lot of recommendation quotations are needed, okay, to make your point stronger, to get the approval. Of course, if you don't do that, you're going to get an RFE and have the chance to redeem yourself. But if you're able to do it and do it well, then that means you are going to get that approval. Okay, so these are what the officer, this is what the officer actually look out for whenever he's adjudicating cases, and your ability to satisfy the basic fundamental requirements and go ahead to satisfy all these 3-prong tests will put you or give you the rest assured that your case is going to be approved. Okay. At this moment, I wanted to look at a typical example for today. If I have time, I will look at the second one, but I want to look at a typical example today so that we can look at how the person filed. This is coming from the Administrative Appeals Office. Administrative Appeals Office is people file this green card, and when they get denied, they don't understand why they got denied. They think they have a case and they still got denied. So they file an appeal. The appeal doesn't go to USCIS. The appeal goes to the AA office. Okay, the AA office actually look at your application. It's like a third party having an objective analyzation or analysis of your case. Okay, so when it goes there, most of the time, the people say it's very difficult overcoming an appeal. Okay, only about 5% actually get overturned. I have seen a case where the appeal, the officer was wrong and it was adjudicated in favor of the applicant. So they have to take it back to USCIS for the officer to rescind his decision of denial and approve the applicant. We will look at some of these. As we are looking at cases every week or every midweek or every day, we will come across some of these that appeal was sustained, but some of them to appeal were overturned or appeal was a kind of dismissed because the applicant didn't have a case. Now let's look at this particular applicant. This particular applicant filed with the Texas Service Center. So there are a lot of service centers that people send their petition. It can be Nebraska, it can be Texas. Some even sent to California, some even sent to Vermont. So different service centers adjudicate cases, but I think the Texas Service Center is the largest so far that I've come to know. So this is the petitioner. It says that the petitioner is a security management specialist seeking preference of immigrant classification as either an advanced degree professional or an individual of exceptional ability in the sciences, arts, or business, okay? As well as national interest waiver. So this person is also seeking a national interest waiver of the job offer requirement, okay? Now, if you look at the first sentence, the petitioner itself even didn't specify whether he is an advanced degree professional or the exceptional ability route, okay? I'm talking about this one. The petitioner didn't specify, so they were still even in the limbo. It has to be left for the officer to decide that, okay? This or that, the petitioner didn't actually specify that, but that is not the major issue they're looking at here. Now, all these things talk about the law requiring or the kind of requirements, legal requirements to satisfy this green card, and I'm not going to read all of that. Now, the director of the Texas Service Center, that means it was filed with Texas Service Center, determined that the petitioner had not established eligibility for the underlying EB2 classification as an advanced degree professional or individual of exceptional ability, okay? So this person, first of all, failed to prove which route he is applying towards, okay? Let alone satisfying it with evidence. Now, the legal framework, I'm not going to go through the legal framework. These are requirements to get approved, the legal or law requirements that you have to follow to get approved. By now, if you have filed your petition, you should have known all these things. Now, so we are going to go straight to the analysis. Okay, what they found. Okay, so the AAO found that upon review of the evidence submitted with the initial filing, the director issued a request for evidence. Okay, good. So RFE was sent. In the RFE, the director explained that the evidence did not establish that the petitioner qualified for an underlying classification, either as an advanced degree professional or exceptional ability. In addition, the RFE informed the petitioner that the evidence provided was insufficient to establish the petitioner's eligibility under each of the three Danasa prongs. Okay, yeah, so the three prongs was also this, the person submitted insufficient evidence, okay, for the three prongs. In his RFE response, the person responded, the petitioner did not provide any analysis or additional evidence to address the deficiencies, okay? The director noted regarding his eligibility as an individual of exceptional ability, nor did the petitioner submit any clarified evidence to establish his eligibility as an advanced degree professional. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Okay, the director noted regarding his exceptional ability as an individual of exceptional ability, nor did the petitioner submit any clarifying evidence to establish his eligibility as advanced degree professional. Okay, so advanced degree professional, did you submit a transcript? Did you submit a degree? Did you submit a master's degree? Did you submit your school transcripts? No. Okay, let's say you didn't have even a bachelor's degree. Exceptional abilities, did you satisfy at least 3 of the criteria I was just mentioning, which show you as exceptional ability? If you don't do any of this, then that means even the first level layer of decision, the person failed, okay? It says that nevertheless, his RFE response included additional evidence and arguments concerning his eligibility under each of the three Danasa prongs. The director denied the petition, providing analysis of the petitioner's ineligibility for both underlying classification under the Danasa framework. Okay. Regarding the underlying classification, the decision stated, initially, the petitioner claimed he qualified as an alien holding an advanced degree and an alien of exceptional ability. Okay, yeah, it's possible you can have advanced degree and still meet 3 out of that criteria. Okay. However, USCIS reviewed the evidence submitted in support of the form I-140 and found that the petitioner did not establish that he was either an alien holding an advanced degree or an alien of exceptional ability. So the petitioner did not establish that. That means he didn't submit any educational document. Okay. Neither did he submit any evidence. That is why evidence is the key. If you say you have this and you don't provide evidence, forget it. Okay. So evidence talks volumes. If you say you have an advanced degree, add your master's degree diploma, add your master's degree transcript. If you don't do this, you are not satisfying it. Okay. The RFE was submitted in request for additional evidence to establish eligibility for the benefit sought. In response to the RFE, the petitioner focused on his claim that he qualified as alien holding an advanced degree. Of course you qualify. Where is the evidence? Okay, so if you're refusing to do this, you're still going to what? Deny your case. He did not claim that he did not claim to be an alien of exceptional ability and did not submit evidence which overcame the deficiencies regarding his claim. Okay, so this person actually did not submit anything to back his claim, and that is why he was denied. Okay, so even the first level of decision you got denied, coming down, it's very much obvious that this person is still not going to submit any evidence to prove that he made the second prong or the third prong or whatever it is. So that is why it is. So as a conclusion, this person's appeal was dismissed. Okay, yeah. So that is it. That is how come this person's appeal was dismissed. On these notes, we have noticed how this person failed even at the first level of evidence. We are going to look at another kind of decision later in the course of the week, and we always align it with our framework here. So this person, of course, failed just even at this level. Okay, he failed to satisfy either this or that with evidence. Okay, yeah. So that is it. See you next week as we take another decision and still dissect it and look at where the applicants failed.